The following program is rated S for satire. We are not professionals, nor are we clinically depressed. We do, however, suffer from long bouts of indecision and stagnation. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome back to this week's episode of the Take That Depression, the Project CC ARC podcast. I'm Kyler. That's Spencer.
Good evening.
How, I guess we've already said that we're doing a double recording. How was your last recording, Spencer?
I had a lot of fun with it. I was a little nervous at first,
Yep.
but I think we got that 4-paragraph down pretty well. I think that's back of the book type stuff, and I think it gets everything we need across, and then the rest is just hammering out details.
Yeah, I don't think it goes over too much. Like, it doesn't cross that line that we are kind of really skirting when we're talking about this stuff. I think, it covers all the stuff. It lets you know what's going on, but it doesn't just let you know too much.
Here's the beginning, here's the end, and you can read about all the middle bits.
Yeah, I really like it. Again, like you had just said, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I was very nervous going into it, what it was going to look like, but I'm very stoked that it turned out the way it did. But I think this one, we're going to kind of get right into it. This step 3 of the snowflake method is summarizing your characters. Let me read this for you here really quick. Character summaries. Write a paragraph for each major character detailing their motivations, goals, and conflicts. So that's the step we're going to be on this episode. Again, like I said last episode, this will probably be a 2 or 3-parter, and we'll probably end up, more than likely, coming back to this one. Just because we don't know, kind of running like this, we don't know all the characters we're going to need by the end of the story. Again, this is just covering arc 1 of what we have going on, so there will be so many more characters added to this by the end of arc 3. But the characters that we currently have, we have the guild leader, that's Garrix. We have the main character, that's Maxis. We have a female or feminine presenting supporting character in Fenwin. And then we have a male or masculine presenting supporting character in Vardek. We did not receive any feedback on that last 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, whenever that was, we put up the survey. We asked for emails. No one sent it in. So we just, to be honest, we flipped a coin. I think both names were fine. So we got Vardek and the male or masculine presenting supporting character.
When in doubt, flip a coin.
Yeah, exactly. And then I like to say, going off the rails here, I'll come back really quick. Always flip a coin, because if you're disappointed in one result of the coin flip, then just go with the other one. Like, no one's got a gun to your head saying you need to abide by the coin flip, and that maybe that's all your body needed. And if you're not disappointed, then go with the result of the coin flip. Awesome. Now,
I like that.
To that list of characters, we, I think we're also adding a returning character in a shopkeeper. I don't know if you want me spoiling this, Spencer, but I'm going to do it anyways because I like it. Think Marcus from the Borderlands series. That's kind of, I think, the vibe that we're going for. Maybe a little bit more straight shooter, less like goofy, but we'll see where we end up.
There's definitely some inspiration off from him.
Then another character that we know will be going on here, but we're not going to touch on just yet. We're going to talk in person about a couple of things to make sure that we really know where we're going with them. Is like the government people, the head of the government people. Like we covered in the paragraph, the upper echelons of the government. Figure out exactly what we need there. We're going to talk in person so we don't one of us doesn't accidentally say something that we're not supposed to. And I'm sure we'll come back to this list many, many times in the future and be like, oh, we need this little story character here. They will probably be recurring, so we're going to make them a dossier.
The best part about brainstorming and like sketching out is at any point we can just say insert this like plot point here.
Yep. Yeah, we can always come back, and you guys can too if you're doing this with us, doing whatever. Just because you finished step 2 doesn't mean you can't go back later and revise it if there's a plot point that no longer applies, or you want to add something into that little, because again, like Spencer said a couple times now, I think that the second point, number 2 of the snowflake method, is a really, really good back of the book. If you're going that kind of a route, like if you put that on the back of a book, that's step 2, I think can be a really, really easy transformation there. You just kind of pick and choose exactly what you want people to know, slap it on the back of the book, call it a day. But that being said, I think we want to jump right into our main character here, Maxis, and figure out really who he is. Before I overstep here, I just did, but before I overstep, are we thinking masculine? I think we've been saying he this whole time.
Yeah, I pictured him being kind of a masculine character.
Okay. So that's an easy. We can give he, him pronouns for sure. That feels fine to me. I also was kind of thinking as Maxis is that way. But motivations, goals, and conflicts are exactly what we're looking for here for Maxis. And again, it's just a 1 paragraph thing, so you don't need to go crazy in depth. Did you say
I
something?
feel
Were you
like
gonna say
in
something?
the world of like adventuring and all that, I feel like he doesn't want that. Everybody's out chasing like treasures and things like that, and I
Yeah.
feel like I don't know if he's above it or he just doesn't like, why would you want to go die down there for some treasure and things like that?
Yeah, I think, like you said, I just think that's not a life that he ever wanted for himself. I think not like he's above it or it's anything like that. I think that that is just like some people don't like adrenaline, and to me, that just feels like Maxis's home. Is he just wants to kind of like grow up,
Almost
get
be at peace
married,
and yeah.
have 2.5 kids, 2.5 dogs, get the uh, the suburban house with a white picket fence. Like that's just like he just kind of wants to have an even keel, and I'm assuming that that would come from having a turbulent childhood. That he just wants like consistency,
Yeah.
and the
Maybe his
dungeon,
parents or grandparents or
yeah,
siblings or something were
yeah.
explorers and hustle and bustle of dungeon life.
Yeah, and yeah, he just doesn't want that for himself. So I do think that we write that down. Maxis craves consistency, maybe?
Yeah, that feels fine.
That sounds a bit over the top, but we can dial it back if we ever feel like it.
Trial and error for sure.
Um, the dungeon crawling life was never for him. Okay, so that I think would be good, like conflicts. Then I guess the goals in that same vein are he wants to get to a point where he doesn't need to be doing this. He wants to get to a point where he's kind of he gets to have that house and kids and dogs and cats and
Yeah. I don't know where it fits in.
and lay it on me.
But another thing about him is like not into like exploring dungeons for glory, treasure, and shit like that, but like saving people.
Yeah.
He's like wants to save and help the people that are close to him, and he's protective. He's a protector.
Okay. Yes. There's a D&D thing that I would always pick for my characters because I feel like I'm very much that kind of a person. That sums it up very well. But looks out for those he loves, maybe he cares about,
Or those that are close to him.
yeah, those close to him. He looks out for those that are close to him. Okay. Yes, motivations and goals. What motivates him? What gets him out of bed in the morning? What do we need to? What else do we need to know about Maxis?
I feel like I can keep like describing stuff, but I feel like I don't know if it like all just into one category and keep building up that way.
Yeah, I mean, and we can edit as we go too.
I feel like he's unsure of himself.
Okay, lacks self-confidence.
Not like you know, main character of a story like One Punch Man where he's just like, I'm the best. Well, I don't know if that's a good example. I've never seen it. But he's like, you know what I'm talking about? Those main heroes that are just like, I'm gonna defeat everybody. I'm gonna be the best. I'm gonna be Hokage.
Yeah, exactly. Believe it. Yeah, no, I like that. He lacks self-confidence. I think that
Could ambitions be to protect, to save,
motivations.
or motivations?
Yeah, I think that kind of is counterintuitive to his like craving of consistency and not wanting to like do dungeon stuff. Is that like that? And it doesn't necessarily go hand in hand. Just because you want to help people doesn't mean that you also want to fight wars to make things better for people. But I feel like that motivation there, like to help people, if we're going to extend that into the dungeon, then counteracts that he never really wanted to be there to begin with.
I think that's in my thing is he doesn't want to be there to begin with.
Yeah, and that might be a thing. Ooh, got blurry there for a second. That might be a thing that he doesn't want to be in the dungeon from the onset. Did not want to be there. However, if he has to be there, he wants to help. So he like is a pacifist potentially. Like he won't, maybe not a pacifist, but like he will do everything he can not to hurt another living thing, unless it's like a buddy or the thing or himself or the thing.
I almost think person before thing. So I don't know, running from monsters doesn't just seem like his style. Like there's a pack of wolves and then we shouldn't go the other way.
Yeah, and that to me that would be like he would leave the fighting to then his compatriots when at all possible. He wouldn't be the one getting his hands dirty because he don't want to be down there if he has to be down there, he wants to only help.
Maybe that ties into what we've talked about our characters, where maybe that kind of forces his hand or something forces his hand, and he then goes from pacifist to having to
do
kind of that character development. Yeah.
And maybe that development is what like forces him into like almost an exclusively pacifist, like life, limb, or eyesight is the only time that I will unsheath my sword or whatever. Yeah, I think that would be a good thing. That again gives him potential flaws to write with, right from, where he's like actively being a detriment to the group because of this belief that he just holds so dear.
Yeah, I would do like that. Because again, if it was just all the way through and through, I feel like you got to overcome shit. Obviously,
Yeah.
we know that that's any
Yeah.
story growth.
Yeah.
But I just think about like you ain't gonna get recruited running away from shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, if we're I feel good about all of that.
Tries to take a pacifist approach when able. All right. What else do we need to know about this guy? Do we want to talk about Blurry again? Do we want to talk about physical characteristics at all? Do we want to like
May as well, yeah.
build?
Feel like
Is it-
younger, kind of slim, muscular.
Yeah.
Maybe not like super muscular, but slender build.
Yeah.
Again, if he's in prison
Yeah.
or whatever, I'm sure he's kind of gonna bulk up a little bit. Manual labor and other things like that.
Yeah. I would say early 20s. Does that feel fair?
Yeah.
And then yeah, like a medium lean build.
Yeah.
What we thinking like a average Joe Sally guy at like 5'6" to 5'9"? Is he a little bit taller, a little bit shorter?
Yeah, I medium height,
Medium.
medium to average.
Yeah.
Probably taller than me. Maybe
Okay.
like
So 5'2", 5'3"? God, I got him so good.
Alt F4.
Yeah, so what, 5'8", maybe?
Patrick's height. I don't know if you're taller than Pat.
No, I
feel like
think Pat's like 6 foot. Is he taller than
Is
me?
he?
Yeah, he's taller than me.
Oh, 5'9", 5'8".
Yeah, I'm 5'9". I'm just
I'd
thickums.
5'9" to 6 feels fine then.
All right.
Would you consider yourself taller than average?
No, I think I'm like right on the borderline, plus or minus like an inch is average.
To,
Yeah, I
damage
think like,
my self-esteem here a little bit.
I think like world average, I think I'm a little bit taller, but I think like U.S. average, I'm like right there.
What about fantasy average height?
Oh, I don't know.
Global average adult height is approximately 5 foot 7.5 inches.
Woo! Over
men.
average.
And 5 feet 3 inches for women. I'm at a solid 5'6". I'm gonna call that right now. So we're getting there. It's only an inch and a half shorter.
Yeah, so I'll put him at 5'9". My height a little bit over average. It's just a skosh.
Yeah.
That was a fun detour. Anything else? Hair. What kind of hair do
I
we
digress.
want?
I haven't gotten that far to even like thinking about it. I kind of feel like short and spiky. I'm gonna run all this through like a like a game
Yeah.
character creator thing, play around with it. But starting off, I picture like
a buzz
Blue
cut, a
spiky.
fade,
Bohawkish.
Bohawk.
Maybe like
I don't hate that.
doesn't have to be anything like realistic. Like open it up and be like, I want this, and then that was in like Haircut magazine or something. But just kind of like, whoosh.
Dark brown hair. I know that's kind of one-sided, seeing as we both have that, but
Dark blue.
Dark blue hair.
That's fantasy world.
Dark blue Bohawk.
Again, this isn't final product, so if you are watching this and you're like, fucking faux hawk, what?
Yeah,
We're,
and
we're
whatever.
working on it.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll change appearances 12 times between now and then.
Even the names could change.
Yeah. Piercings, tattoos. I feel like in prison, even at early 20s, you probably have some kind of tattoo going on. Do they like get tattoos for being in prison to be like branded?
That wouldn't be a bad idea. It could end up being like a combat company logo later or something,
Yeah.
or some kind of weird birthmark or something.
Yeah, I'm wondering like if we want to spin that, if we want to do like everybody gets some kind of like, again, this dude got pinched for stealing. So he gets whatever, a hand tattooed on him, his forehead, his face, his neck, or something like that. So people know that he's a thief. Um, Somebody else that also got recruited into the combat company was whatever, something else. And their icon is something else. So like the combination of all the icons of their crimes make the combat company logo.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Then yeah, what do we want?
I
Do we
don't
want
think
to
it's
do?
something we could solidify right now
No.
for each character because I
Yeah.
want to make sure our heart and soul goes
Yeah.
into that emblem. So
Yeah. Then yeah, what do you think? And then we can come back. So do you just think a hand tattooed on where? Neck? Forehead?
let's put a
Forearm?
pin in that.
Okay.
Tattoos, yes, but
Tattoo location? Question mark. If I can spell.
I also picture
And
some like scars and stuff. Maybe if he's been down there in the CRU, I'm sure he's got some cuts and scrapes. I don't
yeah,
think anything like noticeable, like giant
yeah,
fucking line across his face. But if there's like a shirt or something like his ripped or something, like shower scene, lake scene, whatever, fucking just scars on the back type shit. You
yeah,
don't even have to like have that like in every scene drawn or whatever, but
yeah. No mild scarring, or at least non-visible, non-easily visible scarring.
yeah, that feels fine.
Mild slash hidden scarring.
There it is.
We'll get there. All right. What else is going on with our boy Maxis?
What do you think is going on with our boy Maxis?
Okay, so we've kind of talked. How does he like carry himself? How does he talk? How does he act? Is it, like, yeah, does he have a phrase? Believe it that he says all the time. Does he have a lisp?
I seen, so he mentioned kind of like unsure of himself, like no self confidence, but I also don't think I necessarily want that to affect like him. I don't want him being like Hinata from Naruto, like every time he's like talking to someone, just like
You want him to be doing that?
I don't. Do
Oh, you
not
don't.
off the
Okay, I'm
table.
like, I don't know if I like that, but
Good, because if I come to you pitching something like that, I need you to set me straight and be like, "That's a hard no, off the table."
there's okay. I don't know. I'm weird. I think we've covered that at length on this podcast. There is a huge. I don't. I have nothing to back this up. So blame me in the comments. We'd love to get any. The way people stand, like with their feet, to me, tells me a lot about how they carry themselves, either like confidence wise or not confidence wise. Um, and again, I've got nothing to back this up, but the people who stand like feet out versus the people who stand like feet in, do you kind of know what I'm saying here? You've seen those people that,
I know what you're saying.
um,
What about them?
The feet in people, to me, always seem like the more, at least in my head, would be like the more timid, the people that like lack that self confidence. They're kind of like closing themselves off from the world. So that's I don't know how we would get that in here if we could even.
Are you a feet in or a feet out man?
I'm a feet out man.
I'm a feet out man, and I thought that was like my whole entire life. I thought I just stood goofy because I'd be standing like this instead of most people. Do they stand straight? Do people stand straight?
I feel like that happens, but it like actually straight is a rarity. You're either like kicked or you're kicked. Like it doesn't have to be like, because I am a feet out man. Like
I feel like it's a better fighting stance.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're feet in, someone's gonna like bench you.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know if we can like not animate that, but artist that. But that's like
we can always have that just be a subtle detail that's in there. And all of a sudden, if someone like notices it shifts one time, like we're drawing, we're like, oh, they messed up and his feet shifted the other way. And it's like, nope.
Yeah. So to me, that's a detail I would like to put in there, and that's maybe even just like as he learns to carry himself, he like puts in the effort consciously, puts in the effort to like straighten his feet. So
yeah,
like they
that.
no longer are pointed in; he is straight and whatever. But I.
I kind of picture him kind of a quieter guy too.
Yeah, one of those. He's like, not going to speak up in a crowd. I don't want him to be like. In my head, if he was like called on for a thing, he wouldn't be afraid of doing the thing. But he's also not going to put himself on the spot for free.
Yeah, like if someone's like grabbing him by his shirt, and, like bullying him or something, he's just going to be quiet.
Yeah.
If he gets like a one-liner, a zinger out there, maybe kind of voice a little, not like shaken, like high-pitched scared, but just kind of like that slight, like.
Yeah. Again, I think that comes back to like the tries to take the pacifist approach when able. Like he just tries to avoid that conflict where he can. And yeah, I think that really fits well with what we have going on. So just a quick recap, and then we'll do any kind of last minute bits for this paragraph, because again, we're going to come back here and do a full page for each character. So they'll grow and change between now and then. But a recap, and then we'll see if we want to add anything else, and then we'll close out and get out of your hair for the day. So for the main character, Maxis, we have he craves consistency. The dungeon crawling life was never meant for him. He looks out for those that are close to him, but he lacks self-confidence. He tries to take a pacifist approach when able. He's a man in his early 20s, medium lean build, about 5'9", a dark blue faux hawk. He does have a tattoo, but the location and what it is are yet to be determined. He's got mild or hidden scarring. His toes point in when standing, and then he won't put himself on the spot for free.
I like that a lot. That sounds pretty fleshed out.
Yeah, it's definitely a good starting point. Is there anything else that is jumping off the page at you? Anything else that you'd like to add before we call at least this portion of Maxis complete?
Not at the top of my head, no.
All right.
I think that's a good start.
Yeah, I think we have a lot to work with, a lot to expand upon. The tattoo idea, I think that was a fun little sidebar that we got out of here, and I can't wait to talk to you off camera
Yeah,
about that
yeah.
a little bit, because that I think it could be a fun thing to explore. But yeah, I think that we have a really good list here, and come back next week. We will get into what, one of the supporting characters probably, or do we
Yeah, I
want to
think
do?
so.
Okay, yeah, we'll get into one of the supporting characters, and then the week after that we'll probably do the other one, and then we'll come back round it off with the guild leader, and then any other side guys that we have figured out from here until now. But as always, hit us up anywhere you can. Send us an email. Take that depressionpod@gmail.com. All that's in the description, either of the podcast or if you're watching us on YouTube, it's all down there. If you want to send us an email, look in the description. We have the stuff there. Um, like, comment, follow, subscribe, all the things. If you like what we're doing here, definitely contact us in whatever way. Comment, however you want to do it. We'd love to hear from you. If you don't like what we're doing here, help guide us to the right path. We'd love to hear from you guys. Yeah, I think that's it for me. Spencer, do you have anything else?
I don't think so.
All right, then, as we always love to say, stay safe out there.
And don't get mugged.
If you are struggling, please reach out to someone or dial 988 to get connected with someone at the National Suicide Hotline. You do not have to go it alone.